King Gary? I don't look anything like him. I look more like Dave Benson Phillips. Oh, hello, my name's Ant, and welcome to episode 4 of Giggle Nibblets, where I listen along to the podcast with you and hopefully laugh, and hopefully you're laughing too. And I will tell you a bit of backstage information to help you enjoy our wonderful, wonderful podcast. This episode is called Hand-Knitted Unitard. Now, that's not a term that I remember using, but as we found out last night, I played a tapeworm in one of the sketches that I don't remember doing so. So maybe it was me that uttered the term hand-knitted unitard, but I can't guarantee either way. Oh, I was just going to say that I have invited my colleagues on the podcast along, and someone has just turned up. So let me have a look to see who is around. It is John. So let's add him to the stage.
Hi.
Hello, John.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm good, thank you. Yourself?
Yeah, I'm good. Which
Good.
episode are
Can
we
see
listening
you,
to
or
today?
you happy to lurk in the background?
I'm gonna hide in the dark,
Okay, fair enough.
just so you can't
knows you
see
for
the
your-
S&M dungeon behind.
Everyone knows you for your voice anyway, so let them wonder about your looks and your bounteous locks and everything else about you. But I'm glad you made it. So, hello, if you'd like to introduce yourself to the fans.
The fan. Yeah, I'm John. So I am one of the writers on the podcast, one of the voices, and I also do the audio production.
Indeed, and you are the motivating factor behind it as well. So I am glad to have you on board. So thank you for all the work you do. It's what's kind of kept it going. So as I said, this is episode 4. We've got about 6 or 7 episodes in the bank. So as they become released, then obviously we'll do more of these to listen along and try and talk about the sketches as and when, if that's okay.
Cool. Yeah, sounds good.
Cool. So hello to Andy as well, who's watching on Facebook. Last night we got over 500 views. So thank you very much for those that watched live and for those that watched on catch up. If you liked it, or regardless of whether you liked it, if you could like or share, and hopefully we can get over 500 viewers again tonight. But thank you very much for coming along with us. As I said, I've not heard episode 4 yet, so this will be the first time that I am hearing it. Let's see if I remember, recording it, because as I proved last night, that's not always the case. But let's listen along and let's have a little chat. John, as the audio producer of this, where did you get these Giggle Nibblets introductions from?
So I paid a woman on Fiverr to yell Giggle Nibblets in a variety of voices. Yeah.
Well, she's
which was
very
good.
varied in her talent, so I think £5 is a very good price.
It was a shade more than that, but she did take direction.
Well, that's
good.
It's always good from anyone to take direction. And what about the music behind her? Where does that come from?
So it comes from what's called Epidemic Sounds, which you can subscribe to, and they license music and sound effects that you hear through the podcast, which is good. They've got a big library, and for the stuff that they don't have, we pretty much just had to
Brilliant.
come up with that on our own. So whether it's eating biscuits or footsteps or whatever, yeah.
Okay, well, you talk about eating biscuits. I remember you had to eat how many packets of biscuits was it to get the sound of a poppadom?
No, it was a death cookie. Do you remember the death cookie?
Yes, we've not had that that sketch yet. Is it in episode 4? Do you remember?
Yeah. I don't know. It's the fortune cookie of death,
Yes.
and several packets of biscuits, trying to get the perfect fortune cookie snap. Yeah, I can't remember what it was. I think it ended up being crisps. Yeah, and it was
Yes, I
crisps
think
in
you
the end.
started on
It sounds
biscuits,
very good. Yeah.
but it didn't
And my
provide the
desk was covered
requisite
in
snap.
crumbs. Yes.
Anyway, let's
Yeah.
have a listen to these sketches.
Hello. Are you enjoying your stay with us?
Oh, yes.
Oh, we love it here. Building sandcastles, eating ice cream, going for a dip in the sea. Ah, yes, I remember this one. So that was you, John, obviously, that the first voice, and then Gemma and myself. Should I say what our characters are? Yeah, or will that spoil the sketch?
Oh, I'd let it play for a little bit, and then we could talk about the characters.
Okay, let's do that.
Yeah.
Well, as you know, this is the south of France's most prestigious and glamorous clothing-free resort.
And here we are, enjoying a spot of nudity and sunbathing.
Yes, about that. This morning, I spotted you in the hot tub, concealed beneath a quite spectacular amount of bubbles. And then on the beach this afternoon. Here I see you again. Or rather, here I see a tiny percentage of you because you are...
Buried up to our necks in sand. Yes.
We do like to be beside the seaside, or under it.
Which puts me in something of a pickle. Some of our guests have suggested, and I'm sure this is silly, but that you might not be quite as au naturel as our philosophy dictates.
Outrageous. I'm buck naked. And the buck that I'm thinking of is banned in 17 countries.
And I'm clothing intolerant, especially mittens.
Yes, well, for my own satisfaction, would you mind awfully disinterring yourselves?
Oh.
See? Naked as the day we were born.
And could I tease you out from behind that enormous sandcastle?
Let's stop there. So what was that sound of the clothes being disinterred? What was cast for that sound?
So yeah, that was from the sound library, which is I think just shoveling gravel or shoveling sand, something like that. I really love
what you just cut out. What was it?
Oh, shoveling sand or gravel.
Okay.
I really love Gemma's line about being particularly intolerant to mittens.
Who wrote the sketch?
I think this is one of Rachel's.
Okay.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites. It's really good. I found out later that there's a term for fake nudists, or for that nudists use as a pejorative term for people who wear clothes, called textiles. Yeah, so that's if you're a nudist, you want to insult people who are wearing clothes, you call them textiles.
Textiles. So this is a real thing.
This is a real problem.
Oh wow.
The struggle is real, yeah.
Why would they bother going to a nudist beach if they had no interest in being au naturel?
Well, I think if you listen to the sketch, you'll find out that.
Oh, okay. I'd like to say I don't. Obviously, I remember being in the sketch and laughing a lot whilst we recorded it, but I don't remember the punchline, as it were. So let's listen along to that.
I mustn't. I have a disability. I've got an especially comical bottom. My buttocks are simply too amusing for naturism.
That lady over there has preposterously silly ankles. I haven't even cracked a smile. I promise not to smile at your crack. Now, step out here, please.
The impertinence.
And could you put your hands in the air where I can see them?
Don't you talk to my wife like that.
It's okay, Kenneth. I'll handle this. I don't know what you mean.
Do it. Let go of the seashells. Ha! I knew it. Glued on. And the starfish.
Sea urchin?
Haven't seen anything.
No, it's a sea urchin.
And don't think you can get away with hiding behind that beach ball.
Look, we are sunning ourselves, admiring the sea. And I just happen to be standing behind a beach ball that somebody has placed on this convenient table of a very specific height.
Would you mind?
See?
Just to avoid any further inconvenience, could you possibly show me your room key?
Fine. Here it is.
Aha! My suspicions are confirmed. Oh, where precisely did that key come from?
It was secreted about my person.
Oh, was it now? Secreted where, exactly?
I mean, none of us are getting any younger. Just whilst, I'll just pause it there, because I remember we had a discussion on the pronunciation of secreted.
Yeah.
Because I think you said it should be secreted.
No, it's definitely secreted. I don't know who said secreted.
Okay.
But it does make sense if it's secret. Yeah.
I thought.
It's also worth pointing out that you didn't have to be naked during the recording of this sketch. And in fact, your character isn't really naked either. But you did it. Yeah.
But I am method.
You.
Made a right mess of that chair.
Disturbingly method. It's all right. We disinfected when you left.
Yeah. And burnt it. Your birthday suit's got a few creases.
Maybe. But you know what a birthday suit doesn't have? Pockets.
Pockets. I'm part kangaroo on my mother's side.
Please stop hopping, sir. You're not fooling anyone. I put it to you that you are not, in fact, naked, but sporting an elastoplast-coloured, hand-knitted unitard.
I am too naked.
It's not even the right colour.
Tan lines.
I have seen a lot of naked people. A lot. Trust me, if it jiggles or sprouts hair, I have seen it.
I was just saying, I don't know if you were on when I said it, that obviously the episode is called Hand-Knitted Unitard, and I couldn't for the life of me remember which sketch that was from. And it wasn't me that uttered it, but it was you. But yes, I completely forgot about a unitard, hand-knitted or otherwise.
It does paint a wonderful picture. Elastoplast coloured. Yeah. And in fact, your shirt this evening is quite flesh. It has some flesh tones to it. So yeah, you've done well done.
It's my flesh coloured for when I grow up to be a gammon.
Well, it's important to have aspiration.
Yeah.
What I have not seen is the human form in its natural state, as God and nature intended, with a care label. Now, for the safety, dignity, and comfort of all our clientele, we have very strict rules about people showing up in clothing. You can't just waltz in here wearing that, whatever that is, like some kind of Bry nylon Buffalo Bill.
All right, we give up. A what? Well, a Bry? What is it?
Bry nylon Buffalo Bill.
What, pray tell, is Bry nylon?
It's one of Rachel's lines. I can only assume it is a horrendous kind of cloth. Yeah.
So we don't know what a Bry nylon.
Yeah.
Okay. You've been exposed.
You really haven't.
This holiday was such a bargain, and I wanted to be open-minded. But I got cold feet, so I put my socks back on, and then everything else I really did try to take part. It's a beautiful philosophy. Everybody naked, everybody imperfect, everybody equal.
I just wanted to see some winkies.
We love walking around naked. We simply prefer to do it with our clothes on. And we really do like the beach. Is that enough for us to stay?
Absolutely not. Take your indecent knitwear and get out.
Oh well, at least packing won't take too long. But it will take too long because you're full of clothes, you muppet.
Well, yeah. I guess if all you've got is one unitard, it's probably and a couple of seashells, you're probably still all right.
Yes,
I did
you're
have a
probably
quick
not
look for Brian Nylon.
Brian Nylon. Hand knitted
Oh,
unitard as well. I imagine you might need more than one for hygiene reasons, especially as an older gentleman.
Yeah, for sure. And I also wonder if it's hand knitted, how well that's going to fare in the ocean. If you go paddling, whether it'd probably bunch up around the ankles. Yeah,
I wonder
I
what
had
you're
a
going to
quick
say
look.
then.
Yeah, choose my words carefully.
I
I had a
would
quick
if I
look
were you.
for Brian
What was
Nylon.
I going to say? So obviously we've not discussed this. So you think that people who are pejoratively termed as textiles, they book these kind of holidays what because they're cheaper, like these characters, or what's their raison d'etre behind booking nudist holidays?
I think, as Gemma's character suggested, to see some winkies. I imagine that's the.
Just being middle-aged perverts.
Yeah, yeah, exactly that.
Okay. Well, that is good to know. So you think that Rachel wrote this one?
Yeah, I think this is one of her.
Okay, doke. Well, it was like I say, it was very funny when we were recording it, and I didn't forget all about it. I remembered that we did a sketch, but yes, I remember, and it was very funny. So that is a tick. So the next one, it says tunnel vision. That doesn't ring any bells to me yet, but let's see.
It will. It will.
Okay.
Please don't change the channel.
Bargain Hunt might be on the other side. Oh, well, that's me.
It isn't. Please just let me.
I don't remember it. Bargain Hunt is on the other side. Tunnel Vision. No, anyway, well, that's Gemma and that's me, so I should remember it.
Concentrate.
I'm not following this. It's all twists and turns. What's the plot?
There's no plot. It's a colonoscopy, Mr. Jones. It's your colonoscopy. Now, keep still. The procedure will be over soon.
I remember it now. I still don't remember what the punchline is, so it's going to be as funny now as it was when I first read it. Oh. Chris?
No, put those away. I'm trying to assess your impacted bowel.
Impacted bowel. Is Chris Hemsworth in it?
Will Chris Hemsworth be appearing in your colonoscopy? No.
Given half a chance. Well, it could be a crossover with the Avengers.
Your colon is not part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
And it's poorer for it.
True. And it's probably the only thing that's not part of the MCU at this point.
This is very true, and yet it still carries on. Colonless. You see?
This video is coming from inside you, right now.
Is it?
What do you mean, is it? We just put a camera up your bottom. What did you think we were doing?
I'm just saying yes to everything at the moment. Since I turned 60, I've been trying to be open to new things.
When people say they're open to new things, they don't usually mean at that end.
The sad thing about reaching my age is that no one wants to put things in your bottom anymore. It's just nice to be asked. Yeah? You might not think it to look at it, but in its day, my rectum was the belle of the ball. Then one day, poof, the magic disappears in the twinkling of an anus. Youth is wasted on the young. True. So is this one of those Netflix specials?
No, this has nothing to do with Netflix.
Well, I really don't want to sign up for any other channel. Especially, well, no offence, but art house cinema isn't really my cup of tea.
It's not art house cinema.
Well, what's with the French subtitles?
What? What?
Deuxième épisode avec Stéphane Delaine et Clémence Posé.
Budge up. Let's see how this turns out. What flavour are those crisps?
I do remember it now, but this was one of the earlier ones that we recorded because I remember this won't mean anything to anyone else, but your dining room table was down the other end of your kitchen, no?
I can't remember. Yeah, it was a fun sketch to do though, and
God, yes.
I do remember that the outrageous French accent that I'm putting on. It's a reference to The Tunnel, the TV show The Tunnel. Although we never mention it, it's just nice and apt.
The Scandi drama, The Tunnel.
Yeah.
But with a French accent.
But it is French, I think. I think The Tunnel
is it?
French.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do you remember what that translated from French into English?
No, not at all. It would be about the Eurotunnel, right? So I guess that's there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like 12, isn't it? No, that does.
No, yeah.
20. Yeah. Who wrote this?
This is one of mine.
Okay. What was the inspiration behind it?
It wasn't a colonoscopy. No. I don't. I'm not really sure. Right. It's just one of those weird things that pops into your head. I guess the idea of somebody watching their own colonoscopy, but being confused as to, when you sit next to somebody and they're not following whatever it is on the telly, and they keep asking you who it is. So yeah, it might have been me sat next to the missus and her keeping asking me what was going on.
At her own colonoscopy.
Not at her own colonoscopy. Probably not at her own colonoscopy.
Well, she either did or she didn't. Like, I'm sure you remember your own colonoscopy, especially if you're awake during it. I think I've had one, but I was under general anaesthetic. But I think if you're awake during it, then that's a whole different ball game.
I think the ball game is a different procedure.
Yes, this is very true. Okay, yeah, I remember recording that, but like I say, that was a long time ago. How did you? Because obviously these weren't recorded at the same time. So how did you put the episodes together?
So we record them onto memory sticks, and then they're edited over a period of weeks. Usually, I'll do an episode at a time. It takes a couple of hours to do each sketch, depending on the quality of the audio. So, particularly some of the early ones, the audio is a little bit shaky, so it took longer to do those. Now we're getting a little bit better at it. It's not quite.
But how do you decide which sketches to put in an episode?
So Rachel and I tend to sit down and go through the list of stuff that we've got, find the ones that we think are good enough to record, and then generally I'll group them into episodes based on whether I think they'll sit well together. You don't want two that are quite similar in theme, in the same thing. And you want to balance the lengths of the episode so we don't have like 4 really long sketches in a single episode.
Yes. Because I think this is the longest episode thus far. I think it's over 15 minutes, whereas the first two are only about 12 minutes. So, and arguably the first two sketches both included colons, one more apparent than the other.
Sure, I guess. Well,
But
to
then
be fair,
every sketch
still keep guys on the
includes.
inside, right? It's not. That's an extreme form. Organs on the outside is a really extreme form of nude, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And whilst colons are in every sketch, they're not always referred to.
Yes, correct.
So fair enough. So we only saw the entrance of one in the first one, but we didn't see anything. But it was referred to. Okay, so the third sketch I've got here, lying about a lion. I know which one this is. Who wrote this?
This is one of mine. This is a really early sketch as well.
I
In fact,
remember
we've had a few runs at recording this one with different people over a little while.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think this is like the second or third version.
Okay. Yes. Okay, well, let's have a listen to it. Oh, my friends have asked, obviously, this plinky plonky music. The Giggle Nibblets in the first one is different to the Giggle Nibblets in the last three.
Yeah,
and
I'm not really paying that
about
much attention when I put the vocal in there. It wasn't intentional that I switched between it. I just grabbed a different vocal style. I think originally I intended it to be different on each one, and but I sort of settled into the second one. I think sounded a little better. The vocal sounds a little bit clearer.
Mm-hmm.
It's not immediately obvious what she's saying, but I think you get it stronger on the second one.
Well, you've got a thumbnail that says Giggle Nibblets, and the title of the podcast is called Giggle Nibblets.
You think, by extension, people would work that out. Yeah.
You would have thought so, but people getting confused at watching videos of their own colon, then not everything is self-explanatory, clearly. Right, let's listen to the sketch, which is subtitled Lying About a Lion.
Morning. Made some other grass in the lion enclosure.
Oh, great. Let me know when you're finished.
Do the lions not prefer long grass?
They do. And we used to have it. Problem is, they lurk around in there like disgraced footballers hiding from the paparazzi.
One fella said, I reckon you haven't got a lion in there at all. I reckon it's a swindle. So we checked. And would you believe it? He was right. No lion. God knows where he went.
Well, I've just been over to take a look at the grass, and there is a lion on it.
Well, there wouldn't be much of a lion enclosure without a lion, would it? Yep. More of a lawn, if anything.
Are you going to move the lion out so that I can cut the grass?
Move the lion out? Are you mad?
Where the hell would we put a lion?
True.
Oh, let's just sit him on the sofa and let him watch telly, shall we? Bring him some biscuits, and if he gets out of hand, we'll bop him on the nose with a rolled up newspaper.
Don't you have cages for this sort of thing?
Cages? He's the king of the jungle. You can't treat him that way.
He's got his pride, both figuratively and literally.
Lions need room to move about, hence a lion enclosure. You think we just pop him in a 6-foot hamster ball anytime we fancy a break and let him roll up and down the zoo, scaring the piss out of the kiddies?
Well, no.
Well, it's a bloody good idea, actually. Forget I said anything. Chester Zoo have spies everywhere. They'll poach that in a heartbeat.
Well, the thing is, if I go in there with him, he's going to eat me up.
Nah. Your lion looks at a flymo very much the same way that a dog looks at a vacuum cleaner. Scared of the noise. He'll back right off. You just wait.
And to tell you the truth, there's not much raw left in him.
We got him in a 2-for-1 black market deal with a tiger. He's clapped out and all. One hard winter and the taxidermist will think it's Christmas.
I've called dibs on the rug.
Tough to figure out the mileage on a big cat. No odometer, you see. That's how they get you.
Well, the thing is, there's already a strimmer in the lion enclosure, abandoned in a corner near what looks like a half-eaten leg.
It's probably a gazelle's leg from where we fed him.
Got a Doc Martin on the end of it.
It's very fashionable, our gazelles. I remember we had a discussion about the footwear.
on the severed leg. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
What did it start as? Was it a Nike trainer?
Or something, but Doc Martin is definitely funnier. I think we went through.
Well, I think it was just it's got a Nike on the end originally, and then we thought, well, hang on a minute, that's not 100% clear. So then we had a discussion about funny footwear, and Doc Martin clearly won that.
Plus, they need the ankle support.
Got to have that. Yep, weak ankles on your antelope. Oh, right.
Just get in and out, quick on your toes. You'll be all right. Have you got a ride on lawnmower?
Yeah,
How fast is it?
about 4 miles an hour.
That's not really going to cut it, both figuratively and literally.
Sure, that's your favourite term, both figuratively and literally.
I was a little disappointed we didn't get a chance to put a third figuratively and literally into the sketch, shoehorn it in somehow.
Literally shoehorn a Doc Martin.
I pass on this one.
You know what? You don't want to be eaten by a lion. We hear you. I get you. People tend to prefer to experience a lion from the outside. We're broadly sympathetic to that, and we don't want to tell you how to do your job.
Heavens no.
Both figuratively and literally.
I'm afraid you're going to have to cut your own grass.
All right. We're just messing with you. I'll let you in on the secret. We've got a laser pointer. Lion goes nuts for it.
Works every time.
He'll be well out of your way.
Well, if you say so.
Oh, yes. In you go, fella. Cost of lion food gone up again?
Through the roof, which is the only way he's getting out of there. Now let's get over to the grizzly bear enclosure before that delivery driver gets cold feet. Very funny, very succinct. I like it.
Yeah, again, you didn't have to be dressed as a lion when we recorded that, but you insisted, and I found that odd because again, you weren't playing the lion, and then when you took the lion costume off for the next sketch, you were naked, completely naked underneath, which was highly inappropriate.
Well, yeah, no. For the first two sketches, I needed no clothes, and then for this one, I needed a lion costume and a Doc Martin. And I don't know what the last sketch is, so who knows what I brought for that one. But the title for it is A Taste for Textiles. So is that not a reference to the first sketch, or is this another sketch about nudists not wanting to be nude? Do you remember?
It's more about clothes. Yeah, this is more about clothes than nudism.
Okay, no. Well, let's have a listen, because I, for the life of me, can't remember.
I've lost another sock. Where do they go?
Everyone loses socks at the laundrette. It's not as though there's a conspiracy.
Oh, it rings a bell, but I don't know what it's. Oh, Gemma's just text. Oh, I couldn't read it. Gemma tried to join, but she wasn't able to. So hopefully for the next episode, we'll get as many people on to listen along. But yes, so we've got socks and a laundrette at the moment.
Someone's eating your clothes. That would be silly. Absurd.
Oh yes, I remember it. I'll not say what it is. Just I can't remember what the punchline is.
Bonkers. Absolutely ridiculous. The authorities will never believe you. In fact, you want to be careful saying things like that. They'll lock you up.
Okay. New washing machines? They seem very small.
Energy saving. Open the door, pop your washer on the turntable, add delicious stock, press go and wait for the ping. Just remember to give it a stir halfway through and leave it to stand for a minute at the end.
Delicious stock?
How silly of me. I meant delicious socks.
Oh, right. Wait, what? What's this defrost setting?
That's for cellar pets.
So what temperature should I use to get out these stains?
Full power until the trousers are tender and the water goes soupy. Soapy. I meant soapy. Paul, can you look after this customer? I think one of the kids is choking on a button. Mushroom.
Which customer?
The one in the 3-course, 3-piece suit.
Oh, not for me, thank you. Wool goes straight to my hips, and I've just eaten a jacket. Potato.
I have to ask you something. You know what? I'm just going to come straight out and say it. Are you moths?
Moths?
Moths.
What? You think we're giant moths in disguise? That we're running a laundrette so that people give us clothes to eat? I wonder whether David Icke thinks that we're giant moths. Like some sort of reverse takeaway?
Yes.
What gave us away? Was it the wings?
That and you can't stop bumping into the light fittings. If it's any consolation, your fake moustache is very convincing.
Thank you.
It is an ingenious scheme.
I'd like to take the credit, but we got the idea from a termite working in Oak Furnitureland. Didn't work out so well for the millipede in Footlocker, though.
No free trainers?
Too much legwork.
Right, just give me my clothes.
Both figuratively and literally. They're eating us out of house and hosiery. Oh. That little one could eat a horse, a clothes horse.
I'm calling trading standards. And Rent-A-Kill. They'll have this place mothballed.
Sandra, we're busted. We got too greedy. Time for a plan B.
The charity clothes shop.
Second hand and second helpings.
Donut kebabs. It's me. I'm ox famished.
Very good. So who wrote that one?
Yeah, so that was one of mine. The way it works is one of us will write a first draft.
Yes.
And then we'll get around a table and go through, come up with different ideas for ways we might take the sketch, and then it'll get second draft, and then we'll go through again and see if we can throw in some more jokes or streamline the sketch. So yeah, there tends to be one lead writer, but they're all sort of group efforts eventually.
Yes. Additional silliness provided by the cast.
Yeah, for sure.
Both figuratively and literally.
Yeah.
I don't know, it doesn't make sense anymore, but I like saying it.
No, that's all.
This episode of Giggle Nibblets was written and performed by Rachel Johnson, Gemma Dagner.
But you do realise that Rachel's not in that episode.
Yeah. So obviously, sometimes we're not all available when it comes around to recording the sketches. So on different sessions, you do occasionally get different voices. So I think Paul is in the one with Dracula. Yeah, the Van Helsing sketch. But because he doesn't live in Manchester, he's not in any of the others. We'll have to tease him up for season 2, an episode in season 2.
Where does he live?
Devon, that sort of area.
So literally couldn't get further away.
Yeah, pretty much. So we'll have to ship him up. I'm sure we'll be able to get him up next year for a recording session, which would be really good.
Yes, and as I was saying before, we've got 6 or 7 episodes in the bank for season 1, but then we'll be looking at season 2, and we'll be looking to have some guest. I don't know what the word is. Guest
Performers, yes, voices,
Performers. Yes.
Yeah.
So if you want to perform, then like and share and subscribe to the podcast and let us know, and we will have a look and see what sketches we have available.
All right, cool. Cheers, Anthony.
That's all right. Let's just listen to the last bit, and then we'll have another couple of minutes, okay?
Sure.
Cool.
Thomas and John Duckworth.
John Duckworth.
Writers for this episode were John Duckworth and Rachel Johnson, with additional silliness from the Manchester Comedy Writing Company.
And me. Brilliant. Well, my friend said that was the best episode, and I think it's up there. I liked it.
Yeah, for sure. It is a good one.
I don't know if you hear when I said that I specifically didn't listen to this episode so that I could listen along, and it was good because I forgot half of the sketches, so that's always good.
Yeah.
But it made me laugh as well, the fact that I recorded it, or we recorded it, and yet it still makes us laugh. So that's got to be a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing true through the editing process as well. It's quite nice when you're editing it, laughing along at the, because obviously we only get to hear one take on the podcast, but we did a couple of takes on the day.
Of course.
Yeah, there are a few sketches that are going to be in the later episodes that are out of chronological order, like the very early stuff that we did. You remember Bob Giggles, the extreme mime artist?
Oh yeah, I won't say anymore, but yes, I do remember that.
He hasn't appeared yet, so he's going to put an appearance later on.
But that was very early on writing it, but we only recorded it maybe 2 or 3.
No, I think that was like the first recording session that we did as a group. Yeah, I think so.
But did we re-record? I thought it was very, very not very recent, but not too long ago.
No, it's an early one. We did that along with the cow on the submarine, if you remember.
Yes, I remember the cow on the submarine, teasing these sketches for future episodes.
Yeah, for sure.
Brilliant. Well, thank you very much for coming along, John. It's been an absolute pleasure, and hopefully for episode 5 we can try and get all of us together so we can properly talk about it, because it's been very informative and it's added to the experience.
Great, thanks, Anne. Okay,
You're
cheers.
welcome. Lovely. Thanks very much to John. Lovely. So that was episode 4, and as I was saying to John, absolutely brilliant. Really enjoyed it. So that's all that has been released thus far. So we'll be having episode 5. They're released once every 2 weeks. So episode 5 should be out not this weekend, but the weekend after. So look forward to that. And as I said, really enjoyed presenting these. If you have too, then please like and feel free to comment on it as well, so that I know that people are watching. And that's it for talking about the podcast thus far. But I'll be back in a couple of weeks to listen to episode 5. However, tomorrow night at 6 p.m, I'll be doing another live stream, and I'll be presenting some of my own comedy sketches as well. So please hang around for that, 6 p.m. tomorrow. In the meantime, go to your podcast provider, whether it's Spotify, Amazon, iTunes, and download these 4 episodes thus far. And as I said, if you want to support us as much as possible, then please like or love on Facebook. Please share it around on LinkedIn, and please share it with everyone that you've ever met. And hopefully we can get as many people as possible listening to this podcast. I'm off now to watch Hamilton at the Opera House. So I'm looking forward to that. And then I'm going to do some networking at Factory International to try and get lots and lots and lots of more people to listen to this podcast. But thank you very much for joining me. I've really enjoyed it. Thanks again to John for joining us. Hopefully in the future we can get Gemma and Rachel along to talk about it. But in the meantime, have a lovely evening, and I look forward to seeing you again right here, 6 p.m. tomorrow night. Thanks so much. Cheers. Bye.